One of the obvious places to start with your financial planning and strategic planning for next year is, of course, your customer segments, your market share, and what your likely revenue is going to be. So let's show you what that's going to look like here. This is our revenue, our visionary funding financial model on the revenue model page. You can see the tabs at the bottom. There are a number of tabs on this Excel workbook. It's quite a large spreadsheet, but basically it's designed to give you all the different size reports you need, all the calculations you want to do, and you can put together your assumptions one page at a time to keep this simple and sanity making. So here at the top of this page, we've got the market segments. We have enough room for 10 of them. Some people want to have 100, and I caution against that, saying, well, that's going to be more confusing. So if you can reduce your profit centers, products, services, whatever, down to about 10, that'd be good. So the idea here, you have these different segments. The example I'm playing with here is boat anchors. So sailboat owners need boat anchors, power boats need boat anchors, everybody needs a boat anchor. Now we can go out, do research, and find and get the empirical, factual numbers of this is how many people own sailboats, power boats, fishing boats, and houseboats. These, of course, numbers aren't real. I'm just made them up here. But the fact that they're in blue tells you that you can edit these numbers, change them to be what you want them to be, and the rest of them does the math. So the math on the rest of this block out here is generated by the annual growth assumptions you put in here. The overall objective here, what we're trying to do is convince investors, you, anybody who's looking that you're sharing this with, you're trying to make a case for the size of business that you have. So these are going to be factual numbers that can be backed up by any kind of due diligence. You can look at this and verify these numbers, so you want to get those right. This next block down here, the market share, is done similarly. You can see these sailboat owners is repeated down here automatically. So here you fill it in, automatically repeats it down here. Annual growth in these market share numbers repeat. Now, some people like to start with, we're going to sell X number of units and do $1 million in the first year. And of course, that's pretty much unrealistic. We want you to start thinking in terms of market share. This typically is where someone's going to look at your numbers and say, wait, what's that market share? And calculate the market share numbers and start arguing with you there maybe, and maybe beat you up and negotiate what those numbers might be. But nevertheless, at least you've got 10 different ones you can work with, so you're not going to get every single one of them isn't going to get beaten up, but you can certainly tighten this up the way you need it. And this is simply the math. The number of customers in a segment times the share you're going to get gives you the number of people that are going to buy from you. Then it adds up to the total number of customers. If you've already got, say, 10,000, we put that in here, adds up to the total amount of customers you have. The next block down here is showing us, let's put in the prices. You're going to put in your products. The products is set up on the assumptions page. But you put in the price of your products, annual increase again, so automatically generates an increase in price if you have that. It could decrease, you put a negative number in here. And then what we see down below here, next one is, what's the probability of purchase? Well, okay, if 50% of your customers are buying the sailboat anchor, and 20% of them buy the other anchor, and 50% buy a different anchor, this doesn't need to add up to 100% because certain customers could buy more than one thing from you. So we just put these numbers in here to say, okay, this is how we think the product mix is going to go. And then the rest from there, between the price, the mix, and then the units, calculates the units sold, and then the projected revenue that comes in. And down below here, you can come up with a number. I'm always amazed at how many people start out with saying, oh, our first year we're going to do $1 million. But they have no idea how to build that number. Of course, this number is bigger. But nevertheless, you want to show your investors how you got here from there. And that's what this model is all about, is showing you how you build up your numbers from the bottom up based on the world out there, your market share that you're going to get, the prices, probability of purchasing, units, and sales. This last little bit at the bottom here is a quick overall overview of your entire business model where you're saying, okay, let's say our cost of goods are 20%, your R&D is 15, your marketing is 40, your G&A is 12, and 5% for other, whatever that is, and taxes. And this will tell you, hopefully keeps all these numbers in the black. But the idea of the rest of this model is to sharpen your pencil on this bit here. But nevertheless, your sales number is generated, and the rest of your model pretty much floats on what your revenue is. So everything's based on pretty much a percentage of what you think you're going to do. And that's where we work on the revenue model in this part of it. And that's just this bit here.